This is Camilla. She's a product owner at a software company that builds applications for the banking sector. Being an Agile team member, she's responsible for maximizing the value delivered by her team during iterative work cycles. She's an expert at using Structure PPM, especially for sprint management. Recently, she decided to take her sprint management even further with Gantt Charts, the #1 extension for Structure. Gantt Charts transforms Structure's hierarchical organization into a powerful, time-based planning and tracking visualization. Using Gantt Charts, she's able to see the scheduled duration of sprints, their start and end dates, and how these align with the overall project roadmap. This helps her balance short-term iteration cycles with long-term project goals. Let's set up Gantt Charts just like Camilla does, to witness the value of using this extension on top of sprint planning already done in Structure. In our Structure board, we have work items from a Jira project containing sprints added to the first level. Looking at the Gantt chart, we see that all the tasks are scheduled on the project start date line. This is because the items in this project are planned in sprints and don't have any dedicated start and finish date. So we need to adjust the Gantt chart configuration in order to properly visualize this sprint-based scheduling scenario. To do this, we'll go to the Gantt settings and open the scheduling panel. Under the manual scheduling section, we'll select the Use Sprints for Manual Scheduling checkbox. This option allows us to use Jira sprint start and end dates as manual scheduling dates for tasks on the Gantt chart. As soon as we select these dates in the sprint settings, they will be automatically used by the Gantt chart. We'll also select a backlog board so Gantt knows which Jira backlog to use. Looking at the Gantt chart, we can see that tasks belonging to sprints with set start and end dates use these boundaries for scheduling. Tasks from sprints with no populated dates are still scheduled on the project's start date, and those that are in the backlog are placed in a dedicated bucket on the left side of the chart. Now we can work with our scope. First, let's group our items by the sprint field. As we do that, tasks belonging to sprints jump to specific positions on the chart. These represent individual sprint buckets. Tasks in sprints that don't have dates are kept at the project start date. And the backlog items are organized at the bottom of the hierarchy. Let's go back to the Gantt settings once again, and then open the scheduling tab. At the bottom, we'll find a sprint configuration setting that allows us to manually set up sprint start day and duration. Let's go ahead and enable it. Now we can organize tasks in sprint buckets on the chart, even if Jira sprints don't yet have dedicated start and end dates. We will use a standard 2-week duration with a sprint starting on Mondays. Returning to the Gantt chart, we see that everything is neatly organized into several buckets. There are no tasks stuck on the project's start date, and all sprints are scheduled at a 2-week cadence. It's easy to drag tasks from the backlog panel to an appropriate sprint on the Gantt chart. We can also visualize timeline markers. These represent various time boundaries. By default, Gantt shows today's date and the project's start date markers. On top of that, we can add some custom ones. The markers can be based on fixed version dates, which works well with sprint planning. Add markers by simply placing them on a specific timeline date to indicate a certain version's release date, or just to be used as planning boundaries. We can create as many manual markers as we need by double-clicking on the chart timeline, and we can easily move these custom markers by dragging them to a new position. They can also be removed if necessary by clicking to edit the marker and selecting to remove it. We can also hide them by going to the item menu and unchecking chart markers. We can now define and aggregate the hierarchical list of tasks across sprints and epochs and lay out the work as scheduled bars on the timeline. In doing so, we can visualize multiple sprints simultaneously. This provides a clear view of task assignments within the structure and how they align with the designated sprint timelines. This helps manage changes at hand while also keeping an eye on the bigger picture. And this is why people like Camilla get so much value out of using Gantt charts on top of Structure for sprint management. Structure defines the what and how much scope and effort of the work we have, while Gantt charts transforms that hierarchical list of work into a living, visual project plan.